In the realm of extraordinary journeys, one man's path stands out. Meet Ferruccio Lamborghini, a true visionary who transformed his life from the hardships of being a prisoner of war to become the mastermind behind the iconic luxury sports car, Lamborghini. After his release, he established a humble garage where he remade military machinery into farming tractors. Little did he know that this audacious move would push him from rags to riches. In a stroke of brilliance, Ferruccio Lamborghini revolutionized the automotive industry, forever imprinting his name on the lips of enthusiasts worldwide. This is the captivating tale of a prisoner of war turned millionaire who gave birth to the legendary Lamborghini. The journey began with a simple label, a mere farmer from Enzo Ferrari. But Ferruccio's destiny was far grander than that. In 1916, Ferruccio was born in the serene town of Renazzo in northern Italy. His childhood was intertwined with the rhythm of nature, with his parents working in their vineyards, cultivating grapes that would later be transformed into exquisite wines. Amidst this, they instilled in him the virtues of hard work and an unwavering commitment to craftsmanship. Yet Ferruccio's restless spirit yearned for more than the life of a farmer. Instead of learning the ins and outs of managing the family farm, Ferruccio found himself drawn to the challenge of fixing their tractors. Although it was disappointing and risky to stray from his family's business, Ferruccio decided to follow his passion and attended the Fratelli Taddia Technical Institute to study mechanics. Ferruccio's father disapproved of this choice, but Ferruccio remained determined and continued his education. He also received additional training from a skilled blacksmith who shared his knowledge of ironworking and welding. Despite acquiring new skills, Ferruccio faced difficulties impressing the esteemed Cavalier Righi factory in Bologna, where he desired to work. The factory was responsible for maintaining the vehicles of the Italian army. However, Ferruccio's persistence was not shaken by these challenges. Eventually, he managed to convince the factory owner to hire him. Upon reaching the age of 18, Ferruccio departed from his current location and made his way back to his hometown, Renazzo. In Renazzo, he embarked on a joint venture, establishing a workshop alongside his close friend, Marino Filippini. This choice was the first step towards turning his passion into a big empire. However, before he could fully realize his ambitions, he needed to liberate himself from the control of those who held him captive. Ferruccio's life was dramatically changed when the Second World War started. He was enlisted in the Royal Italian Air Force and assigned to the Rhodes Island garrison in Greece to work as a mechanic. After 3 years had passed, Italy surrendered.
This with Italy has been concluded.
The German forces seized control of the garrison, leading to the eviction of the Italians. Despite the circumstances, Ferruccio decided to remain on Rhodes Island and sought permission to establish his workshop. After 2 years, the Allied forces arrived and took everyone at the garrison, including Ferruccio, as prisoners. Upon discovering Ferruccio's impressive technical skills, they enlisted his assistance in repairing their vehicles. 1 year later, the Allied forces permitted him to be freed from captivity. Ferruccio's early years in his hometown were filled with sorrow and challenges. His wife, Clelia, tragically passed away during childbirth, leaving behind their only child, Tonino. In the aftermath, Ferruccio immersed himself in his workshop, primarily repairing vehicles, trucks, and tractors from the pre-war era. However, everything changed one day when his father urgently asked him for a new tractor. At that moment, Ferruccio had a profound realization. Italy was in dire need of increasing its agricultural production to recover from the devastating effects of the war. To achieve this, better farming equipment was necessary, and Ferruccio saw an opportunity to make a significant impact. With his experience of handling different types of vehicles, both from the Allied and Axis forces, Ferruccio decided to do something new. He got hold of old military equipment that was no longer needed and cleverly transformed it into brand new tractors. These tractors were made by combining the old British Morris engine with some modifications so they could run on cheaper diesel fuel instead of expensive gasoline. They became famous for being affordable and having innovative features that hadn't been seen before. After that, Ferruccio started a new company called Lamborghini Tractors because many people wanted to buy his amazing tractors. But to keep up with the demand and produce more, he needed more money. So his father did something daring and used his own farm as a guarantee to get a loan. This way, they had enough money to continue making the tractors. The risks Ferruccio and his father took paid off even more than they had expected. They achieved great success and rewards that they hadn't imagined before. The business expanded quickly in a short amount of time to become one of Italy's top manufacturers that specialized in its industry. Ferruccio celebrated his triumph by indulging in delicious food, fine wines, and fast cars after accomplishing this amazing feat. He started collecting high-end automobile brands, including Jaguar, Mercedes, Maserati, and Ferrari. But none of these cars could live up to his aspirations completely. He was particularly unhappy with his Ferrari 250 GT's recurring clutch issues.
With all my Ferraris, there is a problem. The clutch.
Which frequently resulted in failures. One day, he decided to take his Ferrari to the mechanic for repairs. To Ferruccio's surprise, he discovered that the clutch in his Ferrari was the same one used in his tractors. This revelation troubled him because he had paid a mere €10 for the tractor clutch, while Ferrari had charged him a whopping €1,000 for the identical component. Later on, he made up his mind to inform Enzo Ferrari about the issues he had uncovered in his cars. Not only did the clutches require frequent fixes, but they were also notorious for their loud and uncomfortable driving experience. Enzo disregarded Ferruccio's concerns and dismissed them, claiming that the problem lay with Ferruccio himself, not the cars. Everyone believed that as a farmer and tractor driver, it was not within his prerogative to criticize my cars, as they stand unrivaled as the epitome of automotive excellence. Certainly, being involved in agriculture does not diminish his ability to showcase the unparalleled essence of an authentic sports car. Filled with determination to prove his expertise, Ferruccio returned home that day. Many people deemed his ambitions foolish and believed he would squander his money. Nevertheless, Ferruccio persevered and established his own company bearing his name. He recruited 3 former employees of Ferrari and purchased a substantial plot of land to construct a factory. In only 9 months, Ferruccio accomplished the remarkable feat of creating his inaugural sports car, which proudly showcased his zodiac sign as its emblem, the Lamborghini 350 GT. Regarded as a technical marvel, this vehicle boasted a V12 engine, a 5-speed transmission, 4-wheel disc brakes, and a 4-wheel independent suspension. It made its grand debut at the esteemed Turin Motor Show, where it garnered immense praise from both customers and critics alike. Through his achievements, Ferruccio effectively silenced those who doubted his abilities, proving to Enzo and others that he was not just a farmer, but a mechanical prodigy capable of crafting exceptional automobiles. Over the years, Ferruccio's tractor and sports car businesses thrived, and he empowered his engineers to experiment while designing new models. This led to the creation of 2 notable vehicles, the 400 GT and the secretive Miura P400 project. The Miura P400, a revolutionary street racing car, made history as the first ever to feature a rear mid-engine layout. Despite Ferruccio's initial opposition to building race cars due to a previous accident, he chose to embrace the Miura P400 when he discovered it. This decision ultimately proved to be one of his wisest, yielding remarkable results. The Miura gained fame as the first supercar in history, and the rear mid-engine design it introduced became the norm for all high-performance vehicles. The S.p.A, the Islero, the Girolamo, the Urraco, and the Countach were some of the more well-known vehicles that Lamborghini Trattori introduced after that. Since they didn't employ any parts from other vehicles, they were seen as being better than other sports cars. The Countach is reportedly the vehicle that has been written about the most in history. Regrettably, Ferruccio's achievements were abruptly halted as he encountered a chain of unforeseeable circumstances. A previously agreed-upon contract to provide Bolivia with 5,000 tractors was terminated due to a coup that took place in the country. This unexpected turn of events compelled Ferruccio to sell both his tractor company and 51% of his shares in Automobili Lamborghini to cope with the losses incurred. Subsequently, a significant stock market crash unfolded worldwide, coinciding with an oil embargo initiated by OAPEC. This combination resulted in soaring fuel costs and a severe crisis within the automotive industry. Despite the challenging circumstances, Ferruccio made efforts to sustain his enterprises and succeeded in locating purchasers for his unsold tractors. Nonetheless, he chose to retire prematurely and sold the remaining 49% of his shares in Automobili Lamborghini. However, he did retain ownership of a heating company, which he passed on to his son, Tonino, as a part of his legacy. Later, Tonino redirected his attention to building a successful business, employing the prestigious family name in the fashion and luxury industries. While this was going on, Automobili Lamborghini's recently appointed owners tried to restore the company's reputation but faced numerous obstacles. The company was consequently forced into liquidation. A few years later, the wealthy French millionaires paid $3 billion to the Italian government to purchase the business. They planned to hire new engineers and renovate the deteriorating Lamborghini facilities. Sadly, financial limitations hampered their efforts, which ultimately resulted in the sale of the company to Chrysler. Chrysler came up with a plan to launch the brand in the American market, but regretfully, they failed to turn a profit. So they gave up control and sold the business to an Indonesian multinational. The Indonesian conglomerate failed to survive the economic unrest during the Asian financial crisis, despite having relatively stronger sales. Audi then intervened and bought the business after understanding the value of improving operational practices and product excellence. Under Audi's direction, Lamborghini was able to successfully meet the demands of the 21st century and restore its standing in the market. Sales were boosted globally by the introduction of famous vehicles like the Gallardo, Huracan, and Urus SUV concepts, with a considerable increase in the United States. Automobili Lamborghini chairman and CEO Stephen Winkelmann acknowledged his happiness with the company's expansion and development, praising their decision-making and clearly defined strategies. He admitted that 2023 will bring new difficulties and changes, but that Lamborghini is ready for them since it never stops pushing the envelope. The company's remarkable 18-month waiting list and good performance give them the assurance they need to concentrate on their next goals. Lamborghini's trajectory is also expected to quicken in 2023 with the introduction of its first hybrid vehicles. Automobili Lamborghini continues to set sales records, and 2022 saw the highest levels of sales ever. In actuality, the company shipped 9,233 vehicles globally, an increase of 10% from the prior year. Automobili Lamborghini also had the tremendous delight of earning the Green Star Award, which honors the business's dedication to sustainability for the second consecutive year. This was an incredibly inspiring story about a farmer who was once a prisoner of war. Despite his difficult past, he managed to turn his small tractor business into a highly successful empire of sports cars. His determination serves as a reminder that anyone can achieve greatness with hard work and perseverance.